Good afternoon. It's honor and pleasure to be with you in this very important conference. Title of my research is The Future of Security and Peace in the Middle East, Iraq as a Model. Introduction, all my colleagues know about me. I always, all my speech oral, but as a respect for your time, I will ready to be very quick to respect for your time, expensive your time. Introduction. The Middle East is considered one of the most tense regions in the world due to the complexities of geopolitical in the world. Due to the complex of geopolitical factors, the diversity of ethnicities and sects, and intertwined international interests among the countries in the region. Iraq serves as a central model for understanding reality of security and peace, especially after decades of wars, occupation, and terrorism. This research addresses the prospects for security and peace in the Middle East through a case study of Iraq, anticipating future challenges and opportunities given its complex political history, strategic location, and its influence on regional balances. First, the concept of security and peace. Security is not limited to the absence of violence. It includes political stability, community security, and justice. Peace is understood as a continuous process that involves reconciliation, development, and conflict resolution. Understanding security and peace in the Middle Eastern context requires a return to concepts from political science and international relations. Human security encompasses economic, environmental, and food aspects, not just protection from violence. The concept of peace is not limited to the end of wars. It includes positive peace, which involves social justice and sustainable development in the Middle East. Conflicts are characterized by their complexity due to intertwining of religion and politics, as well as the intervention of major powers in the affairs of states. Secondly, characteristic of conflicts in the Middle East. One, they have a religious, sectarian, national, and geopolitical nature. Two, there is an interconnection of internal and external factors. You have to move with me. Are you sleeping? Now we are second. Next. Yeah, second. Thank you. So, two, there is interconnection of internal and external factors. Three, the role of non-state actors, such as armed factions and terrorist groups. Next, please. Third, challenge of security and peace in Iraq and the Middle East. One, foreign interventions such as the American occupation of Iraq. Two, regional interventions such as the Turkish military intervention in northern Iraq under the pretext of pursuing the armed Turkish opposition. Three, terrorist groups such as Al-Qaeda and ISIS. Four, low voter turnout in elections that undermines the legitimacy of the political system. Five, absence of social justice and widening class gaps between extreme wealth and objective poverty. Next, please. Six, weak economic structure and high unemployment rates. Seven, dominance of dictatorial system and lack of separation of powers. Eight, high illiteracy rates and low levels of education. Nine, pervasiveness of corruption in state institutions. 10, dominance of secondary affiliations such as religious, sectarian, national, and tribal identities at the expense of national identity. Next, please. Fourth, Iraq's role in the security and peace of the Middle East. Iraq is considered a key player in achieving security balances in the Middle East due to, one, its geographical location that makes it a bridge between the Gulf countries and Levant. Two, its natural resources that enhance its economic power and global energy security. Three, the presence of the Islamic religious authority in Najaf, which is followed by hundreds of millions of Muslims worldwide. Four, its military and security forces, especially the ideological popular mobilization forces, which represented the qualitative opposite of the extremist Takfiri movements, are the main forces that halted the waves of terrorism that targeted the Middle East emanating from Iraq. Next, please. Fifth, lessons learned from Iraqis' experience for the security and peace of the Middle East. One, we have to building state institutions based on citizenship, not on secondary loyalties. Two, we have to establish military forces and security agencies based on competence and patriotism. Three, a real separation between the legislative, executive, and judicial authorities. Fourth, regional cooperation with neighboring countries to face common challenges such as terrorism and organized crime. Five, we have to provide job opportunities and improving living standards, which reduce the motivation for engaging in violent acts. Six, national consensus through dialogue and constitutional amendments to meet the aspirations of new generations. Next, please. 7, promoting the rule of law and judicial independence. 8, enacting a fair electoral system that reflects the real representation of the will of the people, with independent judicial oversight of election. 9, combating corruption by enhancing transparency, activating the rule of oversight bodies, and applying the law to everyone without any exception. 10, promoting education and political awareness to spread a culture of peace and tolerance among the various components of society. 11, developing the economy by diversifying sources of income and reducing reliance on oil, because all my budget depend on resource of oil, as you know. 12, activating regional diplomacy to build balanced relations with neighboring countries and enhance regional and international cooperation. 13, establishing ideological popular military forces as a qualitative counter to confront terrorist organizations which cannot be dealt with by regular military forces. 6, I think this is the last, because this the 3 we have to focus on the future of Iraqi's case. 6, the future of security and peace in the Iraq and the Middle East. We have 3 scenarios. The first scenario, represented by stability scenario, maintaining a state of controlled tension and instability. The second scenario, progress scenario, represented by progress scenario, which refer to a comprehensive regional settlement between America and its allies and Iran and its allies on the other hand. The third scenario, represented by regression scenario, which mean transitioning from a state of proxy wars to direct wars between the 2 camps. Conclusion. Finally, security and peace in the Middle East remain a complex goal requiring the concerted efforts of local, regional, and international stakeholders. Iraq, with its rich history and current challenges, serves as a living laboratory for understanding the nature of these conflicts and the prospects for overcoming them, envisioning a more secure and peaceful future necessitates structural change and governance systems, political rationality, and a genuine will for change. Iraq will will for change systems, political rationality, and a genuine will for change, Iraq has a potential to be a model for achieving security and peace in the Middle East. But this requires true political will, radical reforms, and regional and international cooperation. Iraq's stability will positively reflect on the entire region, making its support a strategic priority for all. It was very pleasure and honor and pride to be with you in this important conference with sincere appreciation. Thank you very much.